Welcome to the Rustic Garden. Today's January 30th, and I want to show you my grow closet and talk about principles that you can apply to setting up your own. Let's start right at the top. This is something that I just added to this closet space. I used to do it in another part of my house. And before I go through all these steps, this closet has been here for 10 years. This setup has grown thousands of seed starts. It's effective. You can tweak it however you want, but the lighting setup is effective and it works if you kind of follow these principles. So up at the top is my germination station, and germination is key to successfully growing your seed starts. This is when they can get leggy, look sickly, and just not be strong. And this happens for one reason. If you don't have enough light when your seed breaks the surface, when it germinates, it's going to grow tall and spindly and leggy because it's just trying to reach the light. So you need to have your lights 1 to 2 inches above the seed starting mix. And I'm recommending now, to keep it simple, having your grow lights on for 18 hours. The intense light, the 18 hours, is more important at this stage. You can use less light as we go down further, but I have all of mine on a timer. So really, really important. 1 to 2 inches above the seed starting mix, intense light for 18 hours, get your seed starts off to a great start. Germination is key. Now, these receptacles I built myself. I have plenty of videos on it. I will put links at the end of the video that talk about a couple of things. You can get the receptacles, the bulbs, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, maybe $15 to $20 for the setup. Build it yourself. You don't need to buy expensive Grow-lIght systems. They're basically what you see here, and they just charge you more money. The bulbs themselves have to have a specific Kelvin rating, lumens rating. I'll put that link at the end of my video because I have one that really explains that. So we have the seed starts up here. As you work your way down, you'll notice that there's a greater gap in here, and these are for plants that are 2-3 weeks old. They grow perfectly fine in there. That's Diatomaceous Earth over these seed starts. I'll explain to that, just explain pest management in a minute. And then again, another station down here for my plants that are 2-3 weeks old. And then you come down here and it's much higher. These are tomatoes that were grown for props for other videos. They're not going to make it outside, unfortunately, but I don't have the heart to toss them in the trash. Back in there, I've got lettuces growing for a video, some basil, and again, they're covered in the diatomaceous earth. This station is to manage my transplants that are, 5, 6, 7 weeks old. They're really ready to go outside, but it's too cold for them. When your plants are bigger like this, you don't have to worry so much about the light. They'll take care of themselves. They're established, they're growing, they're doing okay. So again, the bottom area is for plants that are 4, 5, 6 weeks old. This is for plants that are 3, 4 weeks old, 5 weeks old, depending on what kind of plant it is. And you have the germination station. A couple of things that are key. Absolutely 100% get yourself a timer. Because you're using water, you want to make sure you use a 3-prong timer. That is the ground. So if you have any water issues, you have a ground for safety reasons. Again, I'm leaving this on for 18 hours now. You could mess around with it and go to 16 when the plants are bigger, but because I have a lot going on here, I just decided to go with more light. And if you're curious about how much you're going to spend on lighting, you can go to wattage calculators online. Just put in, electricity calculators, wattage calculators, and it'll tell you how to set up the formula. You just plug in numbers, and it'll tell you how much your closet cost you, over a month's period. The other thing that's really important, let's see if I can find one, is to get some extension cords that look like this. Enough for 3 plugs to go into there. It has the ground. This timer has 2 places for plugs to go into, so I set up 6 lights on this one, and I only have 2 lights on there, but I could add more if I needed to. Now watering, I have plenty of videos on that, but I always water from the bottom. This way you don't splash disease and dirt and stuff around. You don't knock your seedlings around, and it's a lot easier to do it that way. So with the timer, with this kind of setup, I can close these doors. Come back every 3 days, check on this and see how things are going. It's pretty much you set it, you forget it, and everything does what it needs to do. Now, because I am just really starting my own seed starts now to get out into my garden, when I was growing the plants down there for videos, you know, sometimes I let 4, 5, 6 days go. You know, I knew they had enough water. And during that time, a big infestation of fungus gnats came. So I deal with fungus gnats with neem oil, which I have videos on that. Spray it down. But I'm also using Diatomaceous Earth today, and want to just explain that to you. It's just a silica that is very, very sharp, super fine. It really doesn't bother us. But when an insect gets that into their joints, it grinds them down. It affects their shell, their body. They usually dehydrate and they die. And you can see here, when I put it onto wet starting mix, it absorbs the water. So, and that was a mistake on my part. I should have just stuck to concentrating right along the edge here. You want the white powder to sit on the plastic. It's going to stay dry. It's not going to get wet. When it gets wet, it's much less effective. When the fungus gnat comes and crawls on there, it's going to get it into the joints. It's going to grind them down, and it's going to hopefully control or kill out the fungus gnat. Fungus gnats like to crawl down into these gaps, get into the root systems, so they're going to be walking around all over the place. So this is my basic setup. Again, we're starting with germination, and the key is really having the lights close to your starting mix, 1 to 2 inches, and then you can have other shelves set up that have, you know, bigger gaps for your transplants as they're growing, and then you can have a space down at the bottom for your much taller plants. Hope you enjoyed the video and it gives you some idea of how to set up a grow closet. You can apply these principles however you'd like. This closet, real quick, sits at about 75 degrees, so I don't use a heat mat, but you really want 75 degrees or higher to really have successful germination for your seed starts. Please check out my blog at www.therustedgarden.blogspot.com. I now have a seed shop on Shopify, and you can find links to all that at the end of this video. Thanks.